Alright, so I think I'm going to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the Rift Recap. I'm Seamus Anderson, your host, and I'll be doing an analysis of the game this past weekend. It was week 1 of the LCS Summer Split 2015. It's a game between Cloud9 and Team Solomid. It's the first game of the season, and of course, between the top 2 teams. So, really a lot of interest in this game. I know a lot of people watched it, and of course this isn't live, this is in the past. I'm just watching a VOD, and a lot of people thought the game, a lot of people thought it was interesting, perhaps in a way that people wouldn't have expected. I'm trying to keep it as spoiler free as possible, right? So a little bit of background. Incarnation, really hyped up solo queue star. He's very well known in solo queue for his assassin play. And he's going up against Bjergsen, who's been touted as the best mid laner of the West, or at least of NA, for basically his inception since he got onto TSM. And Cloud9 also lost to TSM in the grand finals of the Spring Split. So this game really has a lot on the line. Obviously, it is week 1. It's not as if you can make these huge predictions based on the outcome of this one game, but it is very important, and there's a lot to take from the game. So without further ado, let's get into picks and bans. By the way, this isn't this isn't meant to be like, this isn't a shoutcast. This is more just an analysis. For anyone who saw the Montecristo did something like this, and I think I'm going to be doing it consistently because I really liked what he did, and he got a lot of views. Of course, he's Montecristo, and I'm Seamus, but I feel like I can definitely provide at least a similar level of insight and analysis, or at least hope to, and if I can't provide it now, then, you know, maybe by practicing this, I will get better at it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into picks and bans.
Or if they just look on...
And let's keep chat quiet for now. Actually, why am I wearing headphones? I don't need to listen to the sound. Hold on. No, I'm gonna keep the sound very quiet so you guys can hear game sound, because that might be a little bit annoying. Alright, this should work.
Guy, how big is the solo queue champions pool? We'll have to see.
There we go.
To be getting hit too hard here is banned by Cloud9 themselves.
Alright, so the picks and bans here. Here, I want to turn down a little bit more. Picks and bans here. Alistar and Sejuani are both very strong this meta. Alistar is ridiculously tanky. And Kalista LeBlanc also. Kalista is a champion that, I mean, these are all fairly standard bans. Not much to talk about. LeBlanc is kind of an interesting ban, but considering the composition that Cloud9 are planning on running, it's actually a very good ban. We'll see why in a few moments. But so far, nothing really surprising. I think most people would have expected some kind of assassin pickup from Incarnation, or something that has a lot of oomph as far as mid laner is concerned. But, ooh, notice Balls still has Rumble available. So Ashe banned out against Sneaky, since this is, of course, the Ashe with the rework. I think this is on patch 5.9. Ashe is very strong. However, not banning out Balls' signature champion. He is 16-0 with his champion in North America. And there you go. So a little bit of cheating, since I did know that was going to happen, but just the fact that TSM didn't ban Rumble out immediately could present some problems. So TSM now have 2 choices. They're going to go with Urgot Thresh, and this is, I mean, it's a fairly good pickup, kind of malleable. Urgot is a very strong AD carry at the moment. He obviously is super tanky, does a decent amount of DPS, and is a ridiculous lane bully. So Thresh just complements that well. I mean, if you land one skill shot, really, from Thresh, either the Flay or the hook, it'll make it very easy to land those Acid Hunters after getting the Noxian Corrosive Charge, his E, and just get tons of free auto damage. Or free Q damage, I should say. But Cloud9, they still have a lot of good champions to choose from. Incarnation hovering over this Kog'Maw. And a Meteos as Gragas as well. So this could be an AD carry Kog'Maw. I mean, spoiler alert, it won't be. Kog'Maw would also have a very, very rough time against Thresh Urgot, so I'm pretty sure actually TSM knew that this was a mid lane Kog'Maw. I'm not sure if Incarnation had been practicing mid lane Kog'Maw. I'm assuming he would have, but perhaps not on scrims against TSM, otherwise they might have known. However, they're going to want to bring champions that can just bully the Kog'Maw early and deny him as much as possible. So Rek'Sai, with their tunnels, of course, could gank the very low mobility Kog'Maw pretty easily, and since we know that's how Santorin plays, he likes to, he really, really likes to put pressure on the mid lane for TSM. Probably, imagine we'll see the Rek'Sai here. So TSM, they can now choose between their top and their mid as well. They decide, just in case this is an AD Kog'Maw, probably just going to let Bjergsen have the last pick, just so they know what the team wants. But immediately, Maokai and Rek'Sai picked up as well. Maokai, of course, a fantastic champion for Peel as well as Engage, and just great team fight utility. Rek'Sai also fairly strong. Not as strong as a champion as, say, Sejuani or Gragas. I do think Gragas is a little bit more useful in team fight scenarios. However, Rek'Sai also brings a lot to the table for TSM, and of course, Rek'Sai is going to be putting huge pressure on in the mid lane. So sneaky and Lemon. A lot of the AD carries were actually taken away, except the strongest AD carry still available right now is Sivir. And Sivir also synergizes incredibly well with the Kog'Maw because they're on the hunt, lets him be pseudo-mobile because he can just run around. And the Nautilus will provide more appeal, lets them not catch a target and just take him down. So there's actually a lot of pick potential from C9 right now. Their team fight is fairly strong as well, but if they find a target at a position, they can just take them down instantly. However, what TSM decided to do is, I mean, they have a very tanky team, so they kind of don't want to get, or they don't want to be in a poor position because if they get caught, the majority of their team is very tanky. You also have the Thresh Lantern that can get you out of the bad situation, so we'll see how this game goes. And I don't remember Lost Boy hovering over TF as well as Orianna. I actually think Orianna might have been a huge play here, but we will see what he goes for. It's gonna be a Victor. So Victor, a strong teamfight champion, provides CC, zoning. Victor provides a lot really, but he does get outscaled. The damage Victor does, it's all very medium range. Whereas AP Kog'Maw mid lane, if he gets going, he will be... I really don't think there's a carry harder than AP Kog'Maw late, at least for the mid lane. Like, Xerath and Ziggs are sort of comparable to an AP Kog'Maw and what they provide to a team fight. However, truly late game Kog'Maw can do more damage than either of those champions ridiculously faster. Like, it's just really not a great comparison, even though they are all three poke champions. However, that mid lane matchup is going to be really, really hard for Incarnation because Victor can just bully the crap out of him. And also, I mean, we'll see what Santorin does decide to do. But with Rek'Sai, I'm pretty sure he's going to camp and try to make Incarnation's first game in the NA LCS as hard as possible. So don't forget, guys, this is his first game. He's played against Bjergsen before. He's played competitive. He's been a challenger player at the top of the EU ladder forever. However, this is his first competitive game. Shoutouts to my colleagues, Kappa. Alright, I think I'm gonna skip ahead.
They all have to, though.
Alright, so early. Really doubt anything happens. I might just skip ahead of this as well.
Make sure you're limber. Stretch the hammies. You don't want to pull anything. And everybody's getting ready to go in for the fight here.
Interesting how both teams were
Know they're there.
For a potential five-man invade. These teams had
I think he took Q first.
Defensive line openings for a large part of the split, and now it's actually TSM who bullies their way.
So the ball lane matchup really isn't that bad. The top lane matchup,
fairly heavily, because what ends up happening when
Darius is going to be able to deny balls as well as he might want. So
slip around the other side of the map to get deep wards of their own. But right now,
they might want a lane swap. However, Urgot's not going to be able to take a turret very quickly.
TSM has knowledge of the blue
I doubt it. No, looks like it's just going to be normal lanes.
last night as well. I rewatched the finals, and something like this happened.
And it's going to be a red buff start. So we see a ton of wards on the blue side. They want to know where Meteos is going. And yes, they don't see Meteos. However, they know he's going to start on the red side of the map, and that means he's going to go around top. And I mean, C9 traditionally has been known for wanting balls to carry. Balls will do a ton of work on Rumble, and that's generally how they played. Interesting start. Krugs for the bot lane of C9, and the red buff. So Balls is probably just going to release this red buff, and then I'm assuming he's going to go top with teleport. I'm actually not too sure. I don't quite remember everything that happens. Yep, I think that's what it's going to be. And that's actually really good for Meteos, because Meteos gets to smite the red buff. He takes almost no damage, which means when he goes to gank the Balls in the top lane, he's going to have full HP, and Balls won't be behind that much. This could be very good for Meteos, because if he gets that first gank onto Balls, a Rumble early, Maokai needs, most Maokais go Rod of the Ages, or if they're behind, they're generally gonna go Righteous Glory. Instead, actually, Meteos is gonna decide to level 2 gank Bjergsen. It's not gonna be successful though, and immediately we see one problem that Incarnation had this game. He's down a lot of CS. Yes, the wave is pushed against him, but all the melee minions have died. That's at least 6 minions have died, and he's only gotten 4, plus 2 casters actually. So yes, he's getting zoned out at this point, but it seems he's in his first game he had a bit of a jitters. And because Meteos took so long, or he decided to go for that level 2 gank, he's going to get harassed a little bit here. Has a smite available, so he should be able to take that. Yep. And some trading in the bot lane. Bot lane is interesting, but really this game not that much happens. So TSM, they know where Meteos is, but their bot lane isn't doing too well. What is Santorin going to decide to do? Bjergsen's also pushed against mid turret, so that makes it kind of hard to gank. But Santorin tries to go check the Raptors, see if they're up, because Meteos is, because of his jungle pathing, he might have not taken that. So that would have been a really good steal. Instead, he will put that ward down. And Bjergsen is just going to bully Incarnation. This lane phase is not going to get any better. He's down over 10 CS in just the first 4 waves, I think. And that really is the power of Victor in this matchup. It is a very, very hard matchup for Kog'Maw. And we see Meteos, he wants to gank for Balls, but the wave's in an awkward position. Dyrus has to go on Balls, but he's not going to want to. So nothing much. And Meteos really hasn't done that much so far. But TSM have also done a very good job. Dyrus knew that Meteos would be up there, because Meteos had cleared the entire bottom red side, and we see the first gank onto Incarnation flash, knock up. Incarnation flashes away, but the Rek'Sai flash for the Kog'Maw flash means Bjergsen has a huge amount of pressure in this mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about Victor for a little bit here. Early on in the laning phase, he's not devastating. Kog'Maw's early laning phase is also quite...
Yeah, and what sucks even more is Incarnation's wave is now pushing against Bjergsen. So Meteos actually decides, this is really smart, Meteos decides to push the wave with Incarnation, so it just crashes into the turret. Incarnation's gonna back and buy that tier, just stack it up. Like, yeah, this is fine. Some plebs might think that Meteos is stealing farm and stuff, but C9 wanted this to happen. They know they're behind in mid lane, and I mean, you can tell he's down over 20 CS. But they want to give this Kog'Maw as many chances as they can to get strong. Sneaky, he's been farming up. Wild Turtle and Lustboy couldn't really do anything because of the position of that wave. Yes, Lamination was roaming, but they also didn't really know where he was. And there's that stat. Balls and Rumble, 16 wins and 0 losses. That is an incredible statistic for any sport, really.
Victor generally wants to back with 1,000 gold, or in this case, 1,350.
So Santorin knows Kog'Maw flashes down, and as long as they have proper vision control, very, very good. Excuse me, ward. Pause. Incarnation just warded this side. All right, so think of how the game started. Let's go back a little bit.
If you want to get the Kog'Maw in the mid lane here.
Too far.
At level 1,
all right, so
they will invade for the ward.
Headed over.
So at the beginning of the game, Rek'Sai and Maokai started this topside jungle.
Got a quick ward on the Raptors.
Rek'Sai goes bot. Just starts clearing, shows up, goes bot. And they haven't seen him the entire time, but they know he's starting red because the bot lane got double buffs, and Dyrus had to help Santorin. I think. Perhaps he didn't. Maybe they don't even know. But I feel like one of their wards they should have done by now. Also, C9 could also infer from the fact that okay, so this super mind game, even if they don't know where Santorin is at this point, the fact that Dyrus isn't engaging onto balls means that Santorin isn't available, isn't around at all. Because in a 2v2 situation, excluding the minions, I actually think Maokai and Rek'Sai could kill a Gragas Rumble. But what I'm trying to say is C9 at this point, they have a pretty clear idea that Santorin's on this bot side, or somewhere on the bot side of the jungle, and that's only going to be confirmed when Santorin does go for this gank and burn flash. The relevance to that, where we were before, is that Santorin now, a little bit earlier. So Santorin, we know C9 knows that Santorin's topside buffs must be up now because, or topside camps, I should say, are up now because he just came from bot and cleared all of that. So Incarnation's about to put a ward down. He knows he's getting camped. You can actually already see that ward is right there. He's just going to refresh this ward because he knows that Santorin is on this side of the map and he wants to keep himself safe. The ward. Oh, I think he does. Oh, perhaps that ward was up there before. Either way, that ward was really good. It does go down. Incarnation still has a ward of his own, though, and now one thing that top-level teams do is they're just going to be trying to follow the enemy jungler the entire time. So they know that Santorin went, obviously, to his Raptors. If that's up, if that's not up, either way, he had full HP and didn't have anything to buy, so Santorin's going to be on this bot side of the map somewhere. So Incarnation, in order to play safe, in order to farm up, he knows they need to keep exact control of where Santorin is. And they have a fairly good idea. However, there's a bit of a problem in the Incarnation. He's simply, I mean, call it jitters, call it nervousness, whatever you want to call it. He's missing a number of last hits that, even if you were playing passively, he shouldn't be missing, honestly. Lustboy gets some deep forward coverage. That's going to be on a pink ward, though, so C9 know he's there. And Rift Sculler. Early Rift Scullers are very important, honestly. Especially for Dragon Control and warding that surrounding region. So TSM did well to secure that. And so far, this game has definitely gone in favor of TSM. You can see it right there. The fact that Bjergsen is so far up in experience and gold, and he's doing so much damage. Incarnation is forced to use his ultimate to last hit, and as you see, he's not incredibly adept at using that. Misses that one CS. And that's, I could harp on every CS that the camera sees that he missed, but I'm not going to do that because that'd be really annoying. The fact of the matter is, Incarnation, he misses a lot of minions. And you can see that reflected in the mid lane. He's down almost 30 minions. That's basically 2 kills. And I mean, this is really all that the casters were talking about, is how poor of a position this Kog'Maw is right now.
It escalates even more is when you miss the earliest waves that give you 2, give you 3, and have loud.
Santorin clears his red buff. Has ult up, so he's probably just going to go to a tunnel and look to gank the mid lane. Incarnation's flash is going to be up fairly soon. They have the timer. But, yeah, they're looking to gank this mid lane. Or fight around blue, that works too. Any objective that TSM forces at this point, any fight involving Bjergsen is going to be in favor of TSM, simply because of how strong he is. So Santorin and Dyrus are going to start this blue buff. And then the added bonus of taking this blue buff, of course, is the fact that they deny the Kog'Maw. Meteos is really low on mana, so he's really not going to be able to do anything. Doesn't have smite available. And this is going to be an easy peasy blue buff to Bjergsen. So that is so painful for this Kog'Maw, who basically he just has an Amtome and tier. He does very little damage, so I mean it is hard to last hit when you have such low damage. And TSM is doing a great job of snowballing what they have. They're just doing a really good job of bullying C9. However, C9, they're biding their time. They know the Kog'Maw is going to be very strong late game, and they know their comp is good late game. We see balls, he overextends here, but has a really, really good equalizer. He does... Okay, he's going to flash away, and that is... It's good that he lived, but considering Santorin was in the area, he just stole the blue buff. That was really kind of a big mistake by balls, just kind of to chill up there. But not a huge deal. He burned his flash for it, still managed to get out alive, and did a decent amount of damage to Santorin and Dyrus in reply. Meteos, he didn't show top lane, so again, another... Oh, hold on. Oh, this is really cool, but I want to talk about something really quickly. So regardless of the outcome of this fight or not, the fact that Meteos, when Balls was getting ganked by Rek'Sai and Maokai, if Meteos were in the area, Balls could delay him long enough that Meteos walks up to Rek'Sai and Maokai, and it's just a 2v2 fight. Yes, Balls would have been low, but considering how much damage his equalizer did, like, TSM knew that Meteos was nowhere near this top side of the jungle. So that's presumably why we saw Lustboy or Wild Turtle, whoever it was, put that ward in the lane so they didn't get lane gank. We see the teleport come in, and yeah, Wild Turtle and Lustboy knew. However, they will lose turret. Sneaky and Lemonation were doing a good job of winning that lane. But C9, that global gold is really, really good for them. Balls ends up wasting his teleport, but they still get the turret. Dyrus didn't have his teleport either, so that would have been really good if they got kills there. However, C9 need to be careful now, because soon Dyrus will have the teleport advantage, and Bjergsen is still just absolutely stomping on Incarnation.
The thing with that is Q's a two-part spell on Victor, so it does a small amount of damage, but then it powers his next auto attack. So what Bjergsen is doing is he's...
So TSM, they really want to force a dragon fight pretty soon, especially once Dyrus' teleports up. I think they'll probably just recall here. They might be sitting on a decent amount of gold.
It's an instant cast from the point of origin, so when he gets close...
Or just go for it now.
It's an undodgeable death ray, which will always hit Incarnation. So
yeah, we see the rotation top lane. So C9, this game, they have so many great rotations. Like, the reason why I love this game is they know what their win condition is, and oops, and they take advantage of it so well. And when their mid laner's behind, their mid laner that needs a lot of gold, they send the winning bot lane to top to take the turret. Now, Meteos is there as well, so Dyrus could get dove, and immediately you see the protection from Rek'Sai. Santorin and TSM are aware of the fact that they Cloud9 might want to dive Dyrus, which is why they send Rek'Sai up there, and are going to try and help clear and protect this turret. And it'll still have a decent amount of HP, so it's not going to go down yet. Meanwhile, Balls goes to the bot lane. He's behind at farm, but honestly, Rumble doesn't need gold as much as he needs experience and a few core items, so he's doing okay. And he's also going to pretty successfully be able to wave clear. However, a dive could be bad. Yeah, there you see the equalizer coming out. They're still pinging. Bjergsen is around. Balls doesn't have flash, remember, but Bjergsen can't dive Balls. And TSM wasn't really in position, so he just decides to go back to lane. And this is really interesting because Bjergsen is trying to use his huge advantage to snowball the other lanes. However, Cloud9, in part because they rotated, in part because they knew... Oh, Incarnation just walks away. Takes a lot of damage from the laser, though. Cloud9 know that Bjergsen is strong, which is why you saw Balls play really defensively, and they just simply will not let Bjergsen snowball his advantage. And Bjergsen, meanwhile, tries to find another. He's looking to roam top, maybe get a kill there, protect the turret as well, but gets rewarded with the pink ward, so that's still good. Besides the fact that Incarnation is missing a ton of farm, though, he's done pretty good so far. Like, the fact that he hasn't died in lane, considering how different their power levels are, is very important. Eventually the turret does go down. So turrets, bot turret probably gonna go down too. I think so. Dyrus gets ganked. Meteos is sneaky. Gonna be able to kill him probably. Darius flashed away, sneaky flash as well. Yep, double flash, easy peasy kill. However, that now gonna be the dragon over, but C9 is okay with this. C9 really aren't that worried about the dragon buffs. They simply just want their team to get gold. But TSM also took second bot turret, so I mean that was really a kill for a dragon trade. But even whether or not it was worth is debatable, but C9, that's the call they wanted to make. The shot calling, like, they knew they were gonna trade the dragon for the kill, and they decided to go for it. So there's really, like I said, some would argue how good that trade is. The fact that they just pulled it off successfully is a success, I'd say. Santorin wants to deny as many blue buffs from Cloud9 as they can, and they still are very, very much stronger. So TSM just going to bully, get the Rift Sculler just in case they have to run, or maybe use it to engage. They want it so badly that they're going to pink ward to clear the wards. TSM just trying to shut down Incarnation. Incarnation is split up. He's at his turret right now, so this is going to be another free blue buff. And it's going to go on to Bjergsen, TSM member who wanted it the most. So TSM, they're still doing a very good job of bullying this so far. Balls, meanwhile, has been splitting bot lane, going to be able to equal the gold with, or equal the CS with Darius, but he doesn't really get much out of that. C9 doesn't get anything from him being there, but he does have teleport available. So we might see him teleport to protect this. Either way, TSM doing a... This is a really, really good rotation. Okay, so the fact that... I actually want to go back and see how Bjergsen and... The TSM were still here. This is going to be really lovely. Urgot, not incredibly fast at taking turrets, but... Rek'Sai does a decent amount of damage. They're going to have a big wave. They're going to have a siege wave. So Darius is just going to walk top lane. And they know... If Incarnation wants to protect this, they know where he's coming from. So they know they can just force this 5v3 or 5v4 if a teleport comes in. Either way, Incarnation just out. They're just going to hit the turret over and over. Really, really great rotation from TSM. But there wasn't a huge amount that C9 could have done to respond. Perhaps they could have had balls teleport, like on maybe this ward. But I just think this game is a great show of patience from Cloud9. They know what their win conditions are, and they realize that losing that one turret isn't going to make them lose the game. So Incarnation doing his best to farm up. Once he gets his Luden's Echo and his Sorcerer's Shoes, that's really going to be a sort of power spike for him. And like I said, he will only get stronger. However, I doubt C9 is going to try and fight until he gets that item. Luden's is so insane on AP Kog'Maw.
Stay alive when you die.
But outer turret's now taken down by all team except for the middle outer. Both teams have outer turrets down. It's not going to be incredibly easy for Cloud9 to force this middle outer to go down. Luden's Echo not completed, so Incarnation really still isn't hitting hard. And Dragon is going to be up in a couple of minutes. TSM's probably going to be able to take this for free and just keep on farming. However, there's only been one death so far to 17 in a game. Like, that is really, really crazy. I know a lot of people might think that's boring, but that just shows how much patience, restraint, and like how smart C9 are. That they're simply they took one fight. They made one kill happen. They also made 2 turret takes happen. All of this while being a huge amount behind in terms of this mid lane pressure. And the mid lane is like the most important lane in pressuring the other lanes in the early game. Cloud9's mid lane has been getting crushed, and they're still taking so many objectives. That is really, really impressive. And it's been so far simply through rotations and knowing where Santorin and the rest of TSM are going to be. You know what I can't imagine is in professional League of Legends, the fact that these roaming supports are almost pseudo junglers now must make it so incredibly hard to keep track of both the support and the jungler and whatever other crazy rotations are going on. So just the fact that Cloud9 has such a mastery of the game, it's really impressive, man. I love watching them play. And even without high so far, in their first game of the season that they've done it so well, What's up, Dank State in the chat? It's really cool. So it's 18 minutes, 1 kill so far. I think it's been a really interesting game. Luden's Echo done on Kog'Maw. That's a really nice power spike. The thing is, though, Abyssal Scepter plus boots for Victor. He is not going to want to fight him. Dragon in 1 minute and 30 seconds. However, unless C9 managed to get a pick before, then I really doubt anything's going to happen. So I will say, this next minute probably going to be kind of boring, since all turrets are gone. But we'll see. Looks like it might storm outside. This weather's been pretty cool. So TSM, they rotate the bot lane. They're looking for picks. This is great from TSM. Try to find something. They're trying to find picks and get kills. And you just see C9. They have a defensive ward and they instantly walk back. Oh, Lost Boy, kill that pink, please. There you go. Lost Boy is scared right now. Dyrus and Bjergsen are not in the area, so actually that ward does go down. Maybe TSM could have actually fought on that. Honestly, TSM have played this game fairly passively yeah, now they can take it. For how strong they are, like, look at the items. Alright, Sivir at this point, AD carries really aren't that strong early game. However, a Zeal and a Infinity Edge is a nice power spike to hit, but compared to the Muramana, the Brutalizer, and the Phage from Urgot, Sivir is not going to be as strong as her counterpart. Kog'Maw, of course, down over 50 CS, not going to be as strong as Victor. And yes, Balls, so like all the strength here is in Balls and Meteos. And Meteos is pure tank, so really the damage is coming from Balls. You see he has a Needless. Cloud9 could fight, but Balls needs to land a fantastic ult if they want to go and do so. However, I think what we're just going to end up seeing is just this pre-dragon dance. A little bit of vision clear. Bjergsen's just going to push this wave up as TSM go second dragon. They could just start this, because if Cloud9 tries to engage and protect it, they're just going to die. Like, TSM have the advantage. They could probably just push this ward. Try to go for the cheeky little hook there, but they're actually spotted out. So Lust Boy, he has a sweeper up, but he didn't catch that C9 ward. That's pretty crucial, honestly, because they still know where TSM is right now, and TSM, they should force this. Wild Turtle's really strong. Bjergsen's really strong. Yep, just force it. See that shield. Wild Turtle's really not going to take any damage. And Dragon's going to go down for free. Dyrus gets engaged on. Alright, so Dyrus. Dragon's done. C9, they're not going to want to fight. TSM, though, really do. However, look at the positioning. I mean, you can't see everyone. But Kog'Maw, he's in the mid lane. And he can still do damage from there, so he's really far. Sivir's the second furthest away. Balls, Meteos, and Lemonation are frontlining. And there's really no way for TSM to engage on that. Wild Turtle just kind of dicking around. Probably just going to farm this ball lane. C9 rotating the mid lane to try and take this turret, and because they have a marginally strong wave pushing bot, this forces Wild Turtle to come and protect it. So actually, Wild Turtle's going to miss a little bit of farm there. Not too much, as it's not going to crash into the turret, but nice attempt from Cloud9 there. C9 just going to annoy Bjergsen. Sneaky, he's not going to be able to do much damage to this turret without the help of his team. Lust Boy's coming back. Bjergsen is kind of low mana. He has a decent amount left. But poke down. This is good for Cloud9. Wild Turtle's been farming this bottom lane, but again, look at how the waves have been pushing. There's a wave building top lane. Centaur's about to recall. Someone needs to answer this. So Bjergsen is recalling. Santorin recalled as well. Cloud9 have a huge amount of pressure right now. Dyrus to recall. Oh, this is a terrible call from TSM. They're just giving this TSM team a lot of respect. See how this is pushing? This bot wave is pushing. They're not falling too far behind. The Dragons are starting to stack up. Baron will become TSM had pretty bad rotations, but then again, Cloud9 had really fantastic rotations and wave control. Like, it's those things. It's not a kill, but it's so interesting to see in League of Legends. So Dyrus, Bjergsen, and Santorin are going to recall. Dyrus has to walk into this top lane. Someone needs to address this top lane. Dyrus isn't going to teleport. Teleport's too important. But because Cloud9 know that, you know, They're not in the area. Someone should be covering top. They can just push up and continue sieging this turret. Bjergsen walks all the way to base, and this is probably going to be the turret. I don't think TSM's going to get there in time. And still, no one has addressed the fact that there's a ridiculously huge mini-wave. So finally, we see Dyrus walking top, but C9 have already cleared a decent amount of wards here, so TSM doesn't really know where Cloud9 is going. That presents a bit of a problem. Cloud9 has complete control of this top side of the map, except for one ward, but that one ward is kind of insignificant. And with a cannon minion as well. I don't know if they timed the cannon minion, but just Cloud9 going to do a huge amount of damage and take this turret up as well, because Dyrus can't wave clear against all of that. And oh my god, that was just so well done. That entire series of events. I wonder who pushed that wave. Look at this. Probably was sneaky, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that wave was building. Oh no, it was balls. Balls pushed that wave, so how many minutes did it take? Alright, 19. So balls pushed a wave for over 2.5 minutes. That just after like 2 minutes crashed into this top turret. I'm giving Cloud9 the benefit of the doubt, and I really think Cloud9 had that entire. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. He didn't clear the wave. He probably cleared the casters and left the melees. But the way it stacked was just really fantastic. Because after 2 minutes, it goes against the turret. Right? Yeah, it was a slow push. My bad. I didn't mean to say clear. If he had cleared, that would have simply just, you know, crashed and done nothing. But it's just the fact that he slow pushed the wave in this fashion means that, yes, Dyrus did a decent clear there, but there's another wave coming, another cannon wave, and TSM had no clue that Cloud9 were there either, so they are just completely caught with their pants down, and Cloud9 keep the gold incredibly close. So Incarnation, he's been farming alright now as well. He's down 50 CS, but he's done good up until this point not to really fall any further behind. We'll see if that changes. Spoiler alert, it kind of will. But TSM, they try to force mid now, and they really don't have as much turret pushing potential, especially Wild Turtle on Urgot. Doesn't really take turrets like other champions in the meta, ADCs at least. They actually do. Okay, they will take it down though. So slow, but C9 weren't able to get there in time. They tried to engage. That would have been bad onto Bjergsen. Maybe an on the hunt could have been used there, but either way, good answer from TSM. They did lose their middle, and it was technically a 2-for-1 turret trade, but just the fact that TSM went and answered mid was really good. So both teams playing pretty smart. Again, low kills, but a lot of tactical gameplay. Balls, yep. He would have died there, and that would have been huge for TSM, as they could just pressure Baron baiting or this turret. They're going to go and siege this turret, and Sivir is bot lane. I wonder if TSM know this. I don't think it would have mattered, simply because we see the equalizer. Sivir is an important part of the wave clear from Cloud9's comp, but the rest of their team wave clears really well. So even though they didn't have Sivir there, it doesn't matter. Bjergsen, they're going to clear some wards. TSM are still much stronger in terms of damage. And that's why you'll see every time TSM group up and go for an objective, Cloud9 will relinquish it. Except for turrets, of course, because they can clear those. But the wards and stuff they don't really care about. So they're not going to fight TSM over a ward. And they really haven't this entire game. But what they have done is they've basically been playing hide-and-go-seek. Maokai doesn't do anything this game. Yeah, a lot of TSM doesn't do anything this game. They play it very, very safe and very, very passively, thinking that they're going to win the team fights, but they don't really respect how hard Cloud9 will scale. I really think there could have been better AD carries than Urgot as well. Like, think of the use of Urgot. Urgot is really strong once he gets his core items, and generally do... Urgot should win lane phase against most ADs. Sivir is kind of hard, kind of. But just the fact that... I mean, Sneaky's a much better AD carry than Wild Turtle. The fact that he was up so much. But if they had a faster turret taking... Oh, snap. This rotation. The fact that if they had a faster turret taking AD carry, like Jinx, maybe they could have countered the rotations and also scaled better. Hold on, I want to see how this... So, slow push again. Slow push, slow push, slow push. Yeah. I think they really wanted Maokai for the protection, honestly. I don't really know. There were just some weird picks for TSM. It's like a pseudo team fighting comp, but it's not really like Wombo team fighting, because Santorin doesn't really provide Wombo. Tejuani would have been Wombo, although I think she was banned by TSM actually. Anyway, rotation into the bot lane. Turret's not going to go down, and this gives C9 good positioning on Dragon. Not up for another minute, and they know this, but they're going to be able to put wards down, which is pretty important. And also pick up the Rift Scuttler, a very important buff. So looking at the items, Locket of the Iron Solari completed. Kog'Maw is now down over 80 CS, but... Ooh, this fight's going to be big. Alright, so looking at Cloud9, they want to make a catch on to Bjergsen. Their team does a decent amount of damage. Like, Kog'Maw isn't as fed as Bjergsen is, but if they catch Bjergsen out and chunk him and get him out of the fight, and their carry stayed alive, they can definitely win this fight. So, yep, engage Bjergsen. I think he flashes here. Teleport coming in, Dyrus will be here. And just watch the fight. Death charge is going to go off to the side, and they are right onto Incarnation. They let him run through the lane. And Incarnation makes a huge misplay. Everybody's going to be like, whoops, didn't realize it. Oh, this so Cloud9. Yeah, Bjerg had to flash, which was a misplay. But Incarnation, you'll see. 25 minutes in, as both teams are weary of making that big mistake. To be fair, he didn't see where Santorin was. This is Bjerg still messed up, but it was... Alright, so Bjerg completely caught out. Righteous Glory, Sivir Ultimate pop. Actually, maybe that was just Sivir Ultimate. Yeah, so flash away from Bjergsen. Depth charge going off as well, but Incarnation just... Okay, they should have known TSM was there. Incarnation with a huge positioning error. He just goes down. Wild Turtle. I don't really know what Wild Turtle was doing there. Wild Turtle, this is not... He hasn't been playing as well as he did like Season 3, Season 4, but... Wild Turtle doesn't really contribute to this fight either. This fight should have been much, much harder in TSM's favor. Many situations. Oh, there it is. On the hunt, throws down the gravity field. All right, Wild Turtle. There's a target right there. Instead, Wild Turtle ults the Rumble. Like, he could have ulted Sneaky, and that would have been fine. He could have ulted Incarnation because his team would have been there. The carry died immediately. Yes, he would have been in the middle of the tanks, but like he's tanky himself, and Incarnation is so much damage. So, no idea what Wild Turtle's doing. Do this slow-mo. Yeah, Wild Turtle has to flash away. Balls has Equalizer up, and Balls is Sneaky will destroy Wild Turtle. Sneaky's up 2 levels. No idea what that ultimate was from Wild Turtle. Incarnation instantly goes down, so TSM, this fight is good for them. Balls has a pretty good... The fact that it hits... Bjergsen is good. Bjergsen actually backs away. I think that was another bit of a misplay. I think he should have walked over the Equalizer and just chased. Because Balls doesn't have flash, and they should know that. Yeah, Bjergsen, you should have gone that way. Either way, though, they're still going to be able to pick up more. Simply because of how caught out of position Incarnation was that fight. So, looked bad for Bjergsen. Yeah, I really agree. Wild Turtle just... Who played that fight the best? I don't know, that was just a bunch of really shitty plays. in the end, 2 go down in favor of TSM. So they're up 3K, 2K, 3K. I can't do math. Wild Turtle, he does get a kill. I don't know if he deserves it after ulting like that, but TSM gets blue buff again. All right. Yes, Incarnation was a huge deal this game. I remember watching this game, and I was kind of frustrated with how much the casters were highlighting Incarnation. Yep, that's exactly what I think. Yeah. We can go over just in case people watch this VOD. Incarnation is Kog'Maw. Incarnation, stay where Sneaky is. Or stay over the wall. That might have been too far away. Why is he not where Sneaky is? What is frontline Kog'Maw? It was very, very bad play by Incarnation. And C9 were very lucky only to lose 2 people in blue buff. Oh snap. Oh snap. Alright. So blue buff is gone. Nope, they're going for blue buff now because they have the timer. Dragon is up. TSM should be able to take Dragon as they are as 5. Dyrus helps Bjergsen take it. And also, Dyrus does not have teleport, remember. And, oh, the greed. This is a huge problem. TSM, if they start this Dragon... Alright, so... Oh, that hook's gonna land. Wild Turtle and Centaurn. Wild Turtle does decent amount of damage. Centaurn is all tanky stats. C9, or Sneaky, still has both of his summoners and has 55% crit chance and a decent amount of attack damage. Not to mention, both of these guys severely outlevel these guys. So, Dragon is secured, but the fight breaks out. Balls does a ton of damage, has Zhonya's really crucial item. It's going to be close. But Wild Turtle... I don't know. That Dragon Call without Bjergsen and Dyrus is really bad. Alright, so now this fight's going to break out into 2 fronts. Severely. Right. Sneaky is still alive. He healed Balls to keep him alive, and Balls is running away. Wild Turtle's out of this fight, and Bjergsen is out of mana. Incarnation has walked up, as well as Elimination. They both walked up there. And Bjergsen just caught out as well. I think Bjergsen and Dyrus just got way too greedy for denying the blue buff. Like, you can't take... If you don't get enough... If you only get 2 kills, you really can't, this early in the game, when the game is this close, try to go for multiple objectives across the map, especially when you killed the weaker carry. Like, Sivir is super strong right now. Or not super strong, but the more of the threat from C9. And Dragon goes down, but Bjergsen dies as well, and Wild Turtle's super low. I actually think C9 probably could have pushed this, but oh well. They're just going to take what they have. Huge wave pushing top. Yeah, it was a bit of a mistake by Cloud9 not to go mid, but they've had such good rotations, I won't blame them for that. Meteos tries to steal red, unsuccessful. Wild Turtle doing his best Evelyn impression. He has 2 kills, but he's really done nothing this game. That's kind of the irony of just playing League of Legends. Sometimes your people that look like they're strong aren't. So Sneaky now, he's not even going to upgrade boots because his ultimate is going to provide the movement speed, more movement speed than really his boots. So, and he's going to go for Blade the Rune King next, which is great against all the health that's being stacked by TSM. It's completely tanky Rek'Sai. Whether or not that's a good choice is debatable. Either way. So almost 30 minutes in. Only 5 kills. Yeah, plus Phantom Dancer. Sneaky doesn't need the boots right now. This was a really, really close fight, I think. Should have just seen. And Torrent tunneled away. Yeah. Balls dies. Ball should have fought TSM. That's alright though, 1 for 1. So we missed a couple of seconds where TSM, they're still very strong in team fights. Bjergsen is simply getting more and more farmed.
also he wants to use it to throw Bjergsen back. So it's really what
And it's a 2-item Kog'Maw.
And it's difficult. He's basically the only one. You have depth charge and anchor toss, but those aren't going to hit.
Mods in my chat, please.
You're right. It's going to be quite difficult. We did see, though, that caveat of...
So TSM, they're going to go for a
He isn't able to crush
Baron bait, or just take a couple of wards down. Man, TSM really can't do shit right now. This is really sucks for TSM. I mean, they've just been tiptoeing across the map without a purpose for so long that now C9, even though Incarnation he's still not that strong. He has his core item, so he'll be doing a decent amount of damage. But TSM is tanky enough to withstand him. The fact of the matter is, though, that TSM have a so-so dive, like, turret diving comp, but they can't siege at all. They have a so-so team fight comp, but they can't start fights if Dragon's down and Baron's too risky to take. So even though they're up 3,000 gold, the pressure is really on TSM right now. And if I were them, I would really try to force a Baron bait. That's their best option. Get some nice wave manipulation. Yeah, that bot lane is probably slow pushing. I hope it is. And then try to go for the Baron. The problem is they're not going to take the Baron very quickly. They don't have a Cassiopeia. They have a Victor, and they have a freaking Urgot. They don't have that much shred. And it's completely tank for Xi. So they have to force a bait. That is the only way TSM take any objective, even though they have the gold lead. This sucks. What was TSM's comp? I'm gonna go back and pick some mans afterwards because I'm just appalled by how shitty TSM's comp is.
Meanwhile, Bjergsen's already consumed his. Bjergsen's sitting on 640 ability power.
What are the casters talking about?
A massive amount for only being 31 minutes into the game. And they're just trying to control this blue buff area. I mean, if TSM gets enough vision...
Did you guys hear that? Don't get me wrong, I have a ton of respect for Jet.
Bjergsen's sitting on 600
he's not wrong.
Ability power right now. A massive amount for only being 31 minutes into the game. And they're just trying to control this blue buff area. I mean, if TSM gets enough vision up and keeps Cloud9 out of this area for long enough, they don't actually need to worry about having sweepers down because they would be able to keep them out and know there's no wards. But honestly, it's really all about just this blue buff denial over and over, so Incarnation can't poke them. Oh, he got it!
Okay. So, not only do TSM fuck it up, but TSM's game plan to try and win the game, the only objective that they're forcing right now is the blue buff. They can't even take that successfully. They were so focused on Incarnation. Why did Dyrus run away from Sever there? Oh.
Did he? Caustic Spittle for the win.
We'll go back to that fight. Maybe I could have done a little bit more.
Or they're just trying to control.
After Sever flashed away, yeah, I don't really know. I think this is okay. This is I actually know why. Because well, first of all, Wild Turtle was low. Bjergsen was dead.
I don't know if there is enough.
TSM, they're so they need Bjergsen so badly. Hold on, where's this?
You're right. It's gonna be quite difficult. We did see though that caveat.
Uses ultimate so recent since the last fight. And
okay, so were you saying it? Dyrus, yeah. Dyrus could have easily engaged on Sneaky and Lemon, killed them both.
For the stun and ultimate to knock him back, which is what Meteos is good.
Because Incarnation isn't that strong yet, but TSM, I think Bjergsen made the call. The moment Bjergsen died, I think he said back, 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 back. I would have loved to see the scrims, and I think that was a horrible call. Dyrus and Centauran, while yes, full tanky, could have easily shit on Sneaky. Nation would have tickled them, and they would have won that fight. Either way,
Meteos needs to track his cooldown.
So not only is the team comp bad, the calls.
Very, very close vote between shaky though. A few more engagements.
So this
like
is after Incarnation successfully got his blue buff. So TSM, they're trying to win the game by denying these blue buffs. They can't even deny the blue buff properly.
Some of the final battles, the Sorcerer Elixir are there for him for a bit more damage since he's behind and already puts another blasting wand in there.
Black Cleaver on Urgot, that's really good, except Urgot is going to be so far away. compared to like
for only being 31
Sivir
minutes
and
into the game.
Kog'Maw can do so much
They're
damage
just
from
trying to
distance
control this blue buff area.
that
If
it's going to be really hard for
TSM gets
TSM to
enough
close,
vision
because the
up
moment they try to close it, Sivir
and
ult away,
keeps Cloud9
Gragas
out of
ult.
this area for long enough, they don't
You
actually
can't
need to
even
worry
walk
about
like the
having
Rumble
supers
ults.
down
You
because
have to
they
walk
will
over the
be
Rumble
able
ult
to
to get
keep
to the
them out.
carries.
They know there's no wards.
Okay,
But
so this is
honestly,
we're
it's
about to see
really all
Incarnation
about
gets
just
the
this
blue buff.
denial over and over, so Incarnation can't poke them.
Oh, he got it.
If I were the analyst,
Caustic Spittle for the win.
Whoa,
I think
that
Loco
is
Doka is an
such a
okay coach.
huge
I think
potential
he's
swing.
kind of arrogant as far as the game is concerned. But if I were the analyst in this situation, I would probably have been pissed this entire game. But at this point, I would be crying. They ever walked up to Q and it was completely alone. Wait, at the blue fight?
And keeps Cloud9 out of this area for long enough, they don't actually need to worry
Can you give me
about having
timestamp? I don't
supers down, 'cause
remember.
They would be able
Talking to a
keep
person
them out
in
and
chat
know there's
who-
no wards. But honestly,
Oh,
it's
right
really
here.
all about just this.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Darius. Yeah, they're focused on the blue buff. TSM wants to shut down Incarnation. They want to shut down the rookie mid laner. The rookie mid laner on a super hyper scaling champion that's not even doing so hot. Why are you so focused on this guy instead of C9's real strength?
Can't poke them.
Oh!
To be fair, if he did Twisted Advance there, he could have probably just E'd and walked away. TSM
They
is
don't
like,
actually need to worry about having sweepers down.
there's a
because they
carry
will
there,
be
but
able
there's
to
a blue buff
keep them
too.
and
We
there's
need
no
to get the
wards.
blue buff.
But
Oh,
honestly,
let's get
it's
the blue buff.
really all
Oh,
about
we
just
don't
this
have the blue
buff
buff.
tile over and over.
Yeah, like, look at that. They're tunneling on the ward. There's a fucking ward. And there's a fucking... That's such a tiny distance. They're so worried about the blue buff, they want to deny vision so Incarnation can't get the blue buff. They'd rather kill the ward to maybe get the blue buff instead of maybe kill the Sivir, who doesn't have flash, by the way. Even if she ults and ease away, that's ult cooldown down.
Incarnation can't poke them.
The fact that you pointed out that Sivir could have engaged on simply made me more frustrated at how hard TSM were tunneling to stop Incarnation.
Stick Spittle for the win.
Whoa, that is such a
Not to
huge
mention he gets the
potential
blue
swing.
buff.
With the blue buff onto Kog'Maw,
Just
it means TSM
smite
can't safely
Antoine.
go in for this Baron because the poke can persist.
I'm not even a TSM
Incarnation's
fan.
Kog.
This is just...
What a game-changing steal.
Big.
That is some
Now they
sad
have
League
even
of
more
Legends.
wave clear as well. So coming up to the turrets for TSM gets that much harder, that much easier for Cloud9.
But
40
TSM still
on
do a shit ton of
Dragon.
damage, so
Pivotal
they
time
can
here
easily
to get
force
that
a
blue
dragon.
buff, and you can see Incarnation.
And a win
He's not
condition
sitting
of
out losing, he's
shitty
willing
team
to
comps that
He's still
bully
got a full
early
mana bar,
is
and
5
he's waiting
dragons.
to
If
fight
you're
the command.
ever in solo queue and you're like,
Slowly
wow,
but
my comp is
surely,
absolutely balls
teams now
garbage, make
warding
sure you
each
get
other out
dragons
here.
as fast as you
Meteos
can.
actually
Because
gets
5
popped, so
dragons
he's
is
forced
such
to
a
use the
huge,
Raptor.
like, you can really end on 5
They are
dragons.
going to be setting up.
Even
20
with the
seconds
worst comp in
before
the
I
world.
think we get our first real fight here in this game. Both teams are
Anyway.
going to take it. Number 4 is too
Incarnation is
big
blue.
for TSM.
TSM probably, I don't really remember. I think they got this dragon for free. I hope they do.
I'm a little confused by
I
why.
hope they know they do.
But that's not relevant
Pearson-
right
oh,
now. They're
whoa,
going
whoa,
in
whoa.
nice.
Bjergsen. Bjergsen, there's a dragon spawning in 3 seconds. Could you please not farm the mid lane while there's like 2,000 people there?
He's still got a full mana bar, and he is waiting
But
for
I've
the
got a
fight to
farm.
commence. Slowly but surely, the teams now are warding each other out here. Meteos actually gets popped, so he's forced to use the Raptor. And it looks like they are going to be setting up 20 seconds before I think
20
we get
seconds
our
till
first
dragon.
real fight here in this game. Both teams are going to have
Us
to
boy
take
still has
it.
a pink ward.
Number 4 is too big for TSM.
They're low in wards, so maybe that's why they didn't want a dragon there. But either way, Bjergsen
I'm a little confused by.
walks in range of Elimination, while Incarnation is right there, and they see Gragas on the mini map. So Gragas and Elimination, Gragas and Nautilus are both up here, and Bjergsen just walked into them. What did you expect?
But that's not
In what universe was Bjergsen walking up to the Nautilus not gonna end up
relevant right now.
and
They're
getting
going in.
engaged?
Nice catch.
Pretty good Rumble ultimate.
Shot of
Just
Bjergsen.
so much
That
zone
was Bjergsen
control.
and Turtle actually hit by that, or Lustboy
Okay,
rather.
so now key ultimate's down. Nikki just popped ult, I think. Bjergsen's still alive. TSM on a re-engage. Bjergsen's super low though, and
Start
see
to
how the
back
fight
off
goes.
of this one. They should be okay. Sivir ultimate's used on that one. I was just saying the Righteous Glory would bring them back.
Sivir ult
and
to disengage.
negate that distance, but everybody had a little too much yardage on each other, and now back down towards the Dragon. They remember the objective at hand. And it looks like still,
still chunked.
I should say
50%.
Equalizer down, as well as Sivir ultimate.
Ultimates down for Cloud9.
And yeah, three ultimates down.
For TSM.
But they still have Kog'Maw. I honestly don't even remember how this fight goes, but I think C9 want to fight this. They're strong. If they can just kill Bjergsen, and part of the confidence that is Cloud9 is how well their carries position. We did see Incarnation make a couple of mistakes, but I think he'll learn to play into that very well. Okay, really sneaky's positioning is so good. Even with that ultimate.
Is sitting at half health without heal. Tries to zone there. This could be Dragon 4. It is. TSM should fight.
Alright. TSM should fight. That's what Jet said. That is true. I agree. TSM should fight. But one Kog'Maw R will chunk both of these targets.
That puts the timer on. C9 has to do something big before 5 comes up. That's 6 more minutes, and so far 1 kill onto Dyrus is going to help that cause. Looking at Turtle now.
We'll watch the entire
Boy
fight.
puts up the box. That's going to stop the rest of the team from clearing through. It's the flash body slam on a Turtle. Balls picks up the kill. Anchor toss just missing Lust Point, but there should be enough to take him down. And that's Incarnation with the
ultimate.
3 ultimates were down, but Gragas ultimate's still up.
For Cloud9. No ultimates down for TSM, although Bjergsen is sitting at half health without heal. Tries to zone there. This could be Dragon 4. It is.
Dyrus engages on Immedios. He had flash. He engages on Immedios. Twisted advance is done. Dyrus is immediately at half HP and just gets absolutely shredded. Even without Equalizer, Rumble, Sivir, Cog will just destroy Dyrus. So really good ult by Immedios and really poor decision from him to engage. Flash is out. If Dyrus had used that flash to engage with someone other than Immedios, would have been great. Bjergsen, meanwhile, hasn't ulted. Simply used heal. If Bjergsen had manned up and maybe gone in after Dyrus got booted, I don't know what I'm saying. He could have potentially got the AoE down to kill these guys. But also, TSM have Urgot. So for about a second there, Cloud9 focused. About a second, Cloud9 focused
that distance, but everybody had a little too much yardage on each other. And now
focused the Maokai, and
remember the objective at hand. And it looks like still
TSM's one carry, Bjergsen, didn't man up. TSM's other carry just simply doesn't have as much damage as other AD carries do.
Bjergsen is sitting at half health without heal. Tries to zone there. This could be Dragon 4.
Watch, Wild Turtle's gonna Q. He's gonna auto attack, but he just doesn't do nearly as much damage as Sivir or even Kog'Maw at this point. Bjergsen, go in, go in. Go in. Go. No, no. Don't just laser the Meteos. Yeah. TSM, they got Dragon, but their comp has just been so outscaled. And Torin really doesn't provide much. He's just going to tunnel or flash away. Oh, it's really sad, honestly.
To help that cause, looking at Turtle now. Lust Boy puts up the box. That's going to stop the rest of the team from clearing through. It's the flash body slam on a Turtle. Balls picks up the kill. Anchor toss just missing Lust Boy, but there should be enough to take him down.
Cloud9, holy shit. They are so good at knowing what they need to do to win. They're much, much better than TSM at that. And knowing what their win conditions are, I don't think we've ever seen a team better than Cloud9. And they've been doing it for years, which is insane. 3 members down now. Rek'Sai is still up, but I'm gonna probably take this Baron pretty quickly.
Even though I think TSM would have won that team fight, TSM got 4 dragons, but at what cost is the real question. This Baron's gonna go down.
Eat it alive. One good thing about having a Kog'Maw as well, that Blade of the Rune King only to boot and chunk down that beast.
Baron over.
To Cloud9 after being on the back.
Gold is now even. 4 dragons in favor of TSM. They need Dragon 5 if they want to win.
Maybe able to put their foot down and push some weights. Let's check this out again.
I want to listen to what Jet says here.
watching this, yes, Bjergsen's a little bit low, so he ends up giving a lot of respect, and he's probably making the call to fall back because he himself is a little bit low. Dyrus had other ideas because he goes all the way in. The Caustic Spittle ends up zoning.
So, Dyrus either didn't listen to Bjergsen's call, although I don't think so. I think Dyrus listened to the call, which was engage. I think he picked the wrong target, though. And I also think Bjergsen, I don't think they wanted to disengage. I think they did want to fight that. But
them out, and at this point, TSM scatters. If only they could have stuck together and all
Bjergsen did no
fallen
damage,
back
that's
through the
fine.
same choke, that would have lined up for
he
Bjergsen's
simply
full
doesn't do
combo to
damage.
kill the team. But TSM splits up. Cloud9 stays together, and they also avoid Bjergsen. Kind of the two things that need to happen for them to win a low, so he ends up giving a lot of respect, and he's probably making the call to fall back because he himself is a little bit low. Dyrus had other ideas because he goes all the way in. The Caustic Spittle ends up zoning them out, and at this point, TSM scatters.
Look at this. Look at this. Look how they are. Oh my god.
Push some waves. Let's check this out
They
again.
all know what to do.
Yes,
Look how they
Bjergsen's a
all
little bit low,
move
so he
together
ends up
in a
giving lot of
straight
respect. He's
line
probably making the call
and
to
how they
fall back
space their
because
carries.
He himself is a little bit low. Dyrus had other ideas because he goes all the way in.
Moving away
The
from the
Caustic Spittle
damage.
ends up
Oh,
zoning them out.
there is a... Ban that guy, please. Dammer.
And at this point,
All
TSM
moving away.
scatters.
And then, oh my god, that line.
If only they could have stuck
That line is fantastic.
together and all fallen back through the same choke, that would have lined up for Bjergsen's full combo to kill the team. But TSM splits up. Cloud9 stays together, and they also avoid Bjergsen. Kind of the two things that need to happen for them to win a fight. But with 3 ultimates down, it's remarkable if they could win that fight.
TSM gonna have a really hard time.
Remarkable indeed. That blue buff incarnation got back as TSM was stealing it, wore off just as they got to Baron, so it was perfect for that dragon fight, and it really did become one of the bigger plays that Cloud9 has had throughout this game.
Carbon and Civ are going to be able to poke. They have Baron, so they can siege, and really not a large amount of long-range clear. There's no long range from TSM. I mean, the heat-seeking missile, or whatever it's called, Prey Seeker from Rek'Sai, but...
Yeah, and the Baron buff. TSM with people back in base, although the tower sieging from these two teams is
TSM.
not that great. Yeah, Sivir and Urgot are the AD carries trying to get it from both sides, and this is a brute force teleporting game.
Ooh, great teleport.
Coming in from the backside there, did not see that, but Cloud9 forced to use the Sivir ult to put themselves back in the fight. There's 2 for Incarnation, looking for a third one, actually puts more damage on the Turtle, so he cannot stay in the fight. Bjergsen with a sliver of health gets out of this one.
Still lost.
See what they can do here at their first set of inhibitor turrets. TSM really hasn't reached this point yet. They had a few good fights, and then
Dyrus has a really good home guard to teleport. I'm
now,
assuming TSM just wasn't there though. Yep, Bjergsen is recalling right now. Does he have home guards?
Yeah, and the Baron buff. TSM.
Look, Dyrus goes into position. They have so many wards. They know they want to do this. They know they want to do this.
From these two teams is not that great.
Oh, it's gonna be a 5v5 fight. Yep, teleport coming in.
AD carries trying to get it from both sides.
Sivir ultimate pop. But Dyrus engages too early, I think. Yeah. Dyrus engages too early. Oh my god. Alright. So the Sivir ultimate meant that the entire team of Cloud9 managed to run away. So yes, Bjergsen and Wild Turtle are here, but they're still not doing damage. Meanwhile, all of Cloud9 is protecting. And that was a great ultimate, or excuse me, knock-up from Santorin. But Bjergsen and Wild Turtle haven't gotten to do damage yet. Finally, Wild Turtle starts throwing out Qs, but Dyrus is already at like freaking 0 HP, and Santorin's already chunks. And I mean, Lust Boy trying to be useful. Sivir ultimate's so good, and Cloud9 uses so well to reposition. And that's why Sivir's getting nerfed, because their ultimate's just too strong. As far as team fighting and repositioning, and especially in the hands of Sneaky, like, Sneaky Sivir probably deserves to be banned. Or Cloud9 should not be allowed to play Sivir. Yeah, if people that Cloud9 played afterwards, I hope they banned it.
But they don't feel safe enough to stay against the all-powerful Victor right now. Maybe enough for a top lane turret if they don't have to enter the base.
But
they're gonna have to be careful. That damage onto Incarnation makes them think twice. They lose a bit of auto attack.
The base is gonna get shredded. Bjergsen and Wild Turtle hurt, so they're probably gonna be able to protect it. Yep, okay. Wow, Bjergsen does a lot of damage if he can land it. If he can actually use his spells.
game. Kog'Maw
Bjergsen will hurt.
16. Just
But
an unreal range
it's
on
too late.
artillery.
TSM is too far
Basically,
behind. They
the
lose
first round, I think it's
inhibitor.
about 2100.
Top lane
At the
turret
max
is
rank.
really low.
And all the magic pen he's put through. I mean, Incarnation
And
is hitting
late game
right
Victor
by
doesn't
truck
hold a
right now.
candle
He is
to late game
only gonna get
Kog'Maw.
stronger. Just watching this fight, TSM.
Listen to chat again.
I don't think Cloud9 is going to be able to seize that turret, but TSM decides to go in anyway with Bjergsen really far behind. The equalizer ends up zoning him. Look at how much had happened in that fight before Bjergsen is even involved. Dyrus was completely killed. Cloud9 is the one with the better team fighting play right here.
Yeah.
They just brute force their way into that turret. Balzonias is the aggro away to stay alive, and Bjergsen has to respect the Kog'Maw living artillery because he was late to the fight, and by the time he arrived, it was over.
3, 1, and 4 now. Something I really like about Incarnation's play already is that he kept a steady head. He wasn't trying to go for the blues when they were stolen. Looks like they could actually pick up Dyrus once more. Lust Boy there to save him by the skin of his teeth. Very nicely done.
Viv said, other than the fact that Incarnation fucked a ton of CS up and had that one huge mispositioning error, so far, other than those really 2 big mistakes, he's played a good game. So, is this a good game? You know what? I would say yes. Good first debut for Incarnation. He made a couple of minor mistakes, obviously every minion he missed, and then he made one huge mistake, but other than that, he's played very well.
This Incarnation guy has been playing these team fights great as Kog'Maw.
At this point, TSM, 5th Dragon is up very soon. Cloud9 want to stop this, but so long as TSM have proper vision control, they can fight on their terms, they will destroy them. However, Bjergsen, stands on a ward, takes poke down to 75% HP immediately. Dragon isn't even up yet. He's going to have to recall if they want to fight. Oh, he's just going to stick it out. That's risky. Look how low Bjergsen is, man, this poke. Because remember, Bjergsen has to fulfill their hyper carry role. He has to do a ton of damage. And he's already at half HP. But first time in this game, Sneaky gets caught out. Or he tries to flank. I actually recently made a mistake like this on Sivir. He gets caught out, and then a really great hook from Lustboy onto Balls. So C9 kind of get caught out for the first time this game. Let's watch.
That's Balls looking to throw down.
Sneaky's fine, that goes in. Actually, Balls does die. Lemonation takes a lot of damage. Now they're trading. Oh my god. So yeah, Dyrus. Balls is so good. Alright, so a little bit of poking back and forth. Yeah. Well, I think the format I've done so far is pretty good. Watch the fight in its entirety. Watch it with my commentary, then watch with Jets.
Good damage done on both sides here, mostly to Elimination though.
So let's watch the entire fight.
TSM's health bars, they are feeling too good. That's the equalizer. Splits Dyrus from the team, but only for a little bit. Goes for the flash body slam just in the middle. Did not get them, and they're able to react. Bjergsen very low, but still fighting from the outside.
TSM won this fight though.
Going down. All summoner spells used by him before he got that off.
Media's fucked it up, and TSM still does a lot of damage.
50 seconds just about.
Elimination probably dies too. Yeah.
There's another one down.
And this means 5 Dragon for TSM, so all of a sudden this entire time C9 has been kicking TSM's ass, and TSM gets Dragon. Alright. So this little pre-fight is actually really important because Sneaky has to run away and completely blows his ultimate, which makes it really hard for, without the Sivir ultimate, Medios misjudges.
Watch the pre-fight poke here from Incarnation. That's the key. He has a blue buff, which is huge, and they end up
wait, hold on.
top. Incarnation's around.
Alright, so yeah. This fight, Gragas and Sivir ultimate used. However, we've seen Sivir ultimate used before and wasted, and Cloud9 won a fight, but not Gragas ultimate. They needed it for either disengage or engage. Sivir ultimate's about to run out, and then Cloud9 tries to re-engage with the Righteous Glory. But Bjergsen, really good job stacking there from TSM. I think Wild Turtle probably should have not been there. Especially because he also gets hit by Incarnation, I think. Okay, never mind. Either way, Bjergsen trying to do as much damage as he can. This equalizer is good for 14,000 reasons. First off, it hits Bjergsen. So that wasn't really a damaging equalizer as much as it was zoning. Dyrus has flash, but he doesn't want to use flash to walk over this. But he can't really walk over this. He takes so much damage if he did, and he's already low enough. So Meteos now with Righteous Glory, I think. Oh no, he just walks up, but he doesn't have Righteous Glory. He has nothing and misses the knock-up. So he actually goes down. This is great for TSM because, you know, if Bjergsen and Wild Turtle are alive and if they see one target in front of them, they will absolutely destroy him. And Sneaky follows Meteos and just completely caught out of position. Even with that great balls equalizer, Meteos and Sneaky misplay that fight and it goes in favor of TSM. And then you just see TSM chasing. But also very crucially, because Cloud9 didn't have that many fights, Meteos shouldn't have gone for that. They could have done it, but even if Meteos landed that knock-up, that still would have been a really close fight. Wild Turtle went down, which is, yeah, I still think TSM would have won the fight though, even if Meteos got the knock-up. Either way, TSM now secured Dragon 5. So, even in gold, or do they? No, they can't. They have to kill them first, I think. Incarnation's low mana. Ooh, this is close. Okay, Dragon 5. Balls needs to run. So here we go. With 5th Dragon, TSM can dive or take Baron. Top turret dies actually, so nice slow push from TSM. I think probably the safest call would be just to go top lane for TSM and walk into the turret and take it. They have to make sure mid is pushed though, and someone should probably push bot as well. Actually, bot should be pushing for them right now, unless there's more minions that I can't see there. By the way, Cloud9 no, Baron is up 30 seconds, TSM probably no, Baron's up. 5 Dragon, huge damage. Ah, yes! The Banner of Command. And he used it on the bot wave, right? Yes! Oh! I love you, Lost Boy! As soon as I asked for someone to push that bot wave, he pushes it out. With a Banner of Commanded minions. The bot wave is going to be pushing really hard. And that's going to be important for TSM as they try to force objectives with their 5 Dragons now. Because remember, their team composition isn't as great as Cloud9's late game. But with 5 Dragons, they have so much damage. They have so much threat of taking this Baron and taking something else. They can do whatever they want. So long as, you know, they fight on their terms. And we'll see. They're dancing around Baron. They should just go top right now. Rotate top. Top. Oh, no. Oh, no. Instead, they decide to push. And Rumble Ultimate again. Bjergsen has flash available. Let's see.
They had things planned ahead. They're setting the chess pieces in order before they really need it. Oh, the red carpet laid out for Team Solo Mid nicely from Balls there. They're going to take quite a bit of damage. It may be enough to finalize a few kills in this fight. Balls over the wall, but then he just Sonya's, and he's able to keep enough damage onto Lustboy along with Sneaky to get another kill. That's going to be Balls going down by the hands of
Bjergsen.
Before they really need it.
That was really no-brainer. But ultimate, I mean, it was really good. Don't get me wrong. But what were you thinking? I think they're trying to deny that dang blue buff. That's what they're going for, the blue buff. They're going to try and deny Kog'Maw again. I think that's why they're there. What other reason would they have to be there? They need a minion wave to take the inhib. Either way, Bjergsen flashes away, but I mean, then wherever Balls is, Balls knows that Bjergsen doesn't have flash anymore, so he just flashes over and kills him with his Flame Spitter, which also is dealing extra damage because it's going to be in the danger zone. Think? No, still. Good ult for Meteos to kill Santorin, Incarnation, and Sneaky on the backside. Also, Wild Turtle, like, TSM were so split up, and they also just shouldn't have been walking. Look how far away Wild Turtle And
Well, so
Darius
Lustboy
were.
had already thrown that on throughout the dragon,
banner minion.
the fiasco. They
Darius
had things planned ahead. Or
lagging
set the chess
behind.
pieces in order before they really needed.
Darius is up here.
Oh,
Wild Turtle's here. They're being zoned by Nautilus.
the red carpet laid out
Nautilus is taking damage.
for Team Solo Mid nicely.
Meanwhile, Nautilus is taking damage. Darius is still over here. Darius is done. Okay, Darius is there. Just kidding. Finally, he engaged on Elimination. Elimination dies, but their main carry goes down. And yeah. 9 win. Okay, they don't win the fight. It's 2 for 2, but they fight TSM when TSM has the 5th dragon buff and they come out even. That is such a victory in my book.
Fascinating game here. That
It's so good for Cloud9.
For Cloud9 because all they're trying to do is withstand this 5th aspect of the dragon buff. It's a 3-minute buff. It'll
TSM just really
follow
haven't had
about
good
another
cohesion.
65 seconds, so TSM may have lost their ability to force Baron with the 5 dragon buffs. And this is all because Cloud9 was willing to make a call and go in aggressively. As soon as they see Bjergsen isolated from his tank line, they throw down the Rumble ult. That's immediate. Then Meteos just goes to look to separate them. Bjergsen back, Santorin forward, and the rest of the team is there supporting damage. As far as team fight coordination this game, there's been one small misstep from Cloud9, and that was in the 5th dragon fight where Meteos missed his flash body slam. Outside of that, it's been Cloud9 finding the small windows to take down TSM and making it count.
Yeah. Jet said it perfectly. Cloud9 have, even when behind, they know how to win team fights. And they played the early game so that they'd never be far enough behind to actually lose the game. They can still win team fights.
Also just came out from Lustboy. It looks like that was just right down the mid lane.
Yeah, it's always good to track those guys. Where did he put it, actually? I'm trying to find it.
Dragon buff is still up, I think. No, it's... Is it? No, it's down.
Yeah, either way, this is now... The 5th dragon is gone. So Cloud9, if they were able to fight them with the 5 dragons,
Cloud9,
definitely fight them with 4.
Iki, or excuse me, Bjergsen's up an item, but Kog'Maw is so strong at this point that it really doesn't matter. Cloud9 at this point can force anything they want. They have the better late game comp.
Just because AP Cog is ridiculous.
Just as it finished. I think the way the TSM loses is pretty derpy as well.
Damage output of a Sivir. Unless Wild Turtle can swap, sneak in, and kill him quickly, the Sivir will be doing more damage.
Banner of Command Minion doing work bot lane though. Shoutouts to that minion.
5 dragons down, now only 4 dragons down.
And TSM now have Baron positioning. But they lose middle inhibitor positioning, which is huge.
Oh boy.
Nice poke onto balls.
Definitely figure out what's going on and fix mistakes mid-game with this composition already that we've seen. We know that Incarnation
And with that good poke, TSM have the ability to push up. But again, they cannot siege. Cloud9 is simple in recall, and they can't siege. Banner of Commanded Minion.
Yeah, and it's doing work right there. Lustboy finding the right lane. Perfect lane.
And now with Baron positioning. Oh, Cloud9. Oh man. They stuck around. Oh my god. This Darius is waiting to teleport. Why is TSM grouping up? Watch. They're going to wipe out Team Solo Mid here.
His death comes from the explosive cast and a slam of the belly coming in from Meteos. A triple kill for Sneaky. Balls chasing out Dyrus and potentially an inside the park ace here as Dyrus won't be able to do much for the team but run away.
That choke point that TSM walks through Cloud,
who already had the head-to-head against Team Solo Mid and look having a bit of trouble in the
So, why did 4 members of TSM walk into the perfect choke point for a Rumble Ultimate? Why? I think it was the blue buff. Or I don't know, they wanted blue pressure like... What? I think... Oh, they're tunneling on Incarnation. That's been the story of the game. Tunneling on Incarnation so hard. So very hard. Like, they wanted to kill Incarnation. That's why they all started moving towards him. There couldn't be any other good reason. Either they all just started playing like idiots, or they wanted to kill Incarnation.
left lane to promote the minion because they know they're going to be playing
But
this around the Baron
that is
right
not
now.
the way
And
to do so.
someone needs to go down and deal with that giant minion wave. But they have to
Fantastic ultimate.
Choke point though. That Luden's hit coming out as well. They're gonna wipe
Yeah,
those
they
team solo
just
mid here.
get destroyed.
Jackson very low can only do a few things from the outside, and he
So,
here. His death comes.
in summary, nice triple kill for Sneaky. TSM are a team that can bully the shit out of even one of NA's best teams. Because, I mean, Cloud9 probably going to be one of NA's best teams. However, TSM's shot calling and decision making, at least in this game, it was very Incarnation focused. So let's talk about Incarnation. Incarnation has played 2 games of AP with Kog'Maw. He lost the second game. Although, that was kind of because Dignitas played super, super well. I don't even remember all of that game. That might have been an anomaly, we'll have to see. But the fact that Incarnation is so invested in playing AP Kog'Maw for these 2 games, I mean, I'm sure we'll see it again unless it's banned. Even though it really wasn't the problem. And even though it wasn't the problem, TSM focused it so hard. They put so much pressure on Incarnation in his first game, they just wanted to shut him down so hard that they really forgot how to win the game and what other advantages they should have had in order to take him down. So Incarnation, he ended up doing the most damage. Take a look at the recap. He ended up doing the most damage. However, that was... what am I doing? That was mostly because of the type of champion he was, and he made 1 huge positional error. The rest of that game, he went 5-1-9 and did a ton of damage. He missed a shit ton of CS. I agree. That was very bad. However, his first game, really good stuff to him. Not fantastic, not this godlike, godsend, best player of all time. But for his debut, that was very good. What am I doing? Let's take a look at the damage. Other things, Wild Turtle didn't really do anything. He had 1 really good on Sivir, ult on Sivir, but that was really no-brainer. If you want to play Urgot, TSM has to use it more successfully. They have to use him with a purpose. TSM's composition and just their play seemed very, very purposeless, while Cloud9 the entire time looked like they knew exactly what to do. It was... I know TSM's obviously... TSM is like capable of more, but it just... Cloud9 just seemingly outclassed them so hard. And it really was beautiful to watch. In the early game, the fact that Cloud9 weathered that storm was really, really cool. Biggest lead they had was 3.2. It was right after... what was this? I don't remember when this was actually. Oh, this was after the dragon fight. Got you. Yeah. There's a big part of the problem. Look how many times TSM died, or Cloud9 and TSM died in this area. They fought. Blue buff was... they were so focused on Incarnation. I really think that was not a good decision. Yep, picks and bans. Was the Urgot a counter to Kog'Maw, or was it intended to be? Yes. No. Urgot was picked. So TSM prioritized Urgot and Thresh first. I don't like that. Wild Turtle performs much better on late game carries. And then they wanted Bjergsen to do a lot of damage, so they gave him Victor. And their engage is fine, but their upfront damage isn't great, and they just never really made a catch. Meteos did a good job disengaging. Balls had a great job zoning. And just the rotations Cloud9 had to keep themselves in the game. I mean, even though the guy was down 100 gold, he still... his entire team was only fell behind 3,000 max. And that's really, really good for Cloud9. And look at the damage. Again, this is AP Kog'Maw. The type of champion he is supposed to do a lot of damage. He did the most. With less gold than Bjergsen. Less gold than Sivir, too. But Wild Turtle barely did more damage than Dyrus. Yeah, Dyrus was pretty... I don't know. So, I guess if I'd have to rate the performance of each player, I think Balls did a fantastic job. I think Medius, even though he fucked that up, did a really good job. I think Incarnation did a really good job. Sneaky did a fantastic job. And Lemonation did a really good job. Dyrus didn't really do much. Centauran didn't do much. Bjergsen didn't really man up. Wild Turtle didn't really do much. And Lustboy didn't do much. I mean, he played okay. I think Lustboy might have been the best player on TSM, actually. Honestly. That or Centauran. But what does this mean for the teams? Like I said, I don't really know. Well, a lot more games. Will have to be played to see what kind of teams TSM and Cloud9 will develop into as the season goes on. However, with Incarnation playing a pick that he's not used to, at least in solo queue, he's done very well. And he adapted to Cloud9's strategies pretty well from this, judging by this one game. So, and the team, Cloud9 still played so well as a team, even after it changed their roster. I expect them to do pretty well, honestly. And they might have a couple of growing pain games still, but the core of their teams, the way they play with Incarnation is still very fundamentally similar. And Team Solo Mid, they need to have more purpose in their games. They're very strong, as we saw. Bjergsen gets a huge lead early. They are very good at bullying early game, but their mid game and late game decisions need to... it's not that their decisions need to be better necessarily, as they all need to, like, move with haste, if you know what I mean. Like, if I tell you to do something and you just take a couple of minutes, take a while, take an hour to do it. No, TSM, if they want to be the kind of team I think they want to be, they have to be much more vicious and immediately take what they want. That being said, I don't know if that'll happen. I think Centauran, Wild Turtle, and Dyrus are fairly passive and don't really have that kind of drive, at least, or that fire. I don't know what it is I'm trying to describe, but so if Loco Doco and his staff can whip TSM into shape, they might get better, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I hope you liked this analysis. It was almost 2 hours long. I liked it. I thought the game was great. It was people who don't have a great appreciation of rotations and early game power spikes and stuff, and how important it is to know what your team win conditions are, might have thought the early game was incredibly boring. I thought it was really interesting, and then the late game was fascinating. Actually, the very late game was more boring than the early game, because TSM just did really stupid decisions. But the early game was really cool, and the mid game was really cool too. And the differences between power spikes and 5 Dragon and stuff, all very, very apparent in this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm calling this Rift recap for now. I will post this on a YouTube channel today, tomorrow. And then I'll also do a game tomorrow. So let me know which game you'd like me to cover tomorrow from this past 4 days of LCS. Either EU or NA. I'm going to do 2 games from each, 2 games total a week. And I hope you guys support my channel. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys later.